the camera, but
yeah, we're live. We're on.
My camera. Hello.
Yep, we're live right now. See, we're live. So if you click on there.
Hello.
All right. So,
hi, Papa.
All right, I'm going live. So I'll be finished in a few. All right. Isn't that cool? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we're glad in it. Please do me a favor if you're coming on. I want you to hit that like button. I want you to hit that share button. I want you to tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know. Ramonepreston, the squad, even Papa's grandbaby is here today live on the Ramonepreston show right here from the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. So please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody, let them know your boy live today. And please do me a favor, put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. I got an awesome conversation that I want to have with you today. It's really a rollover from a conversation that I was having last night during my weekly Millionaire Monday mentorship call with all of our mentees and coaching clients. So it's going to be an amazing conversation today, a lot of information you're going to learn today. And my hope and expectation is that today's show will inspire you, will motivate you to take your personal, your professional, and your financial life to the next level. So do me a favor real quick. Hit the like button, please. Hit the share button and tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy is live on the Ramonepreston show. And put in the comments what city you're watching me from. I love when you put the city that you watch us from because you give other people who come on an opportunity to know where you're watching from. We got people from all over that watch the show. I want to say thank you for not only joining the show, but thank you for supporting what we do on a day-to-day basis here on the Ramonepreston show. And just in case you don't know, now you know, I'm Ramonepreston. I'm the host of the Ramonepreston show, and every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of the AT and the L, I bring the game to you because my goal, my hope, my expectation, my objective is to help you properly start, properly structure, and at some point you could properly scale your business, your ministry, and your income streams. So whether you're a W-2 employee, a 1099 contractor, or you're just a legitimate business owner, but you're looking for ways to properly start and structure and scale what it is that you're doing, this show can help you make that happen. Now, what qualifies me to do that? Well, number one, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, full-time entrepreneur. Let me say it again. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 20 years. So I know a thing or two about entrepreneurship, about running a business, because for the last 20 years, I haven't had no options. I've had to wake up every day and figure this thing out and make it work. And everything that I've learned within the last 20 years, everything that I've experienced and experimented with for the last 20 years, I put these principles, these practices, these concepts together as formulas, and I share these formulas with you because I truly believe that you can become a millionaire. I truly believe that you can become financially free, and I truly believe that you can use business systems to make that happen. So with that being said, today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the 5 stages of wealth. The 5 stages of wealth. And again, this was a conversation that I was having last night during my weekly coaching call. Every Monday, I host a coaching call for all of our mentees and for anyone that's a part of our coaching program. They have access to this weekly coaching call. It's a private, exclusive coaching call that I host, and I do a deep dive for about 30 minutes on certain topics. And then we have a Q&A. And last night I was talking about the 5 stages of wealth. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring this conversation to you today, even though I ain't gonna go as in depth as I did with them, but the reason why I wanted to bring this conversation to you today, because everybody should strive to become wealthy. And wealthy is not just financial. Wealthy is spiritual, wealthy is physical, wealthy is emotional, relational. So wealthy is really a consummation of all these different areas of your life that you have achieved certain levels of fulfillment. But you cannot properly describe wealth without having some level of financial wealth. And so I want to share these 5 stages of wealth with you, and I want you to really pay attention to some of the things I'm going to be saying today, because number one, we're in a crazy time right now. I was asking my mentees this last night. I was asking them, like, do y'all feel like it's crazy right now? Do you feel like you can't put your finger on what's going on, but it just seems like there's an unsettling, things just don't seem to be clicking. It seems like things are getting harder and difficult, and you just ain't feeling right. Well, guess what? It's the way life is. Life is set up this way. But times like this, I'm talking about times like what we're in right now, where it's a lot of inflation, the economy is looking crazy, housing is crazy, transportation is crazy, jobs and the workforce is crazy, business and entrepreneur, everything is crazy. But it's times like this that separates the good from the great. Times like this that separates entrepreneurs, people who want to do something in business, from real entrepreneurs. And so I really want to urge you and encourage you to pay attention to what I'm going to be saying today and let it sink in. Let it get grooved into your spirit, into your mind, till you get to a point to where you just go for what you know so you can make it happen. And don't write off the rest of this year. See, a lot of people, they waiting until 2023. Man, I ain't waiting until 2023 to do what I can do in 2022. I got several weeks left in this year. And there's a lot that can happen this calendar year if you dial in and focus in and do what you need to do. And so when I talk about the 5 stages of wealth, each stage is something that we have to learn and we have to groove into our spirits and our minds, but we have to figure out a formula to rinse and repeat these stages as well, which means once you leave one stage, you ain't forgetting that stage when you get to another stage. All right. So let me just give you the 5 stages of wealth real quick. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll share a little bit of information with you on each of these stages, because I really think the first 3 stages are really where a lot of people are right now. I mean, come on, if you ain't where you want to be financially, you ain't at the 5th stage. And even if you experience some level of the 5th stage, you probably still have a lot of work to do. So I'm gonna just give you all 5 real quick, and then I'll come back and I'll talk a little bit about it. So the first stage of wealth is what we call the survival stage. Okay, this is the survival stage. All right, I want you to really write these down, okay? The second stage is the strategy stage. The third stage is the saving stage. The 4th stage, you see me on there? I got the grandbaby. Papa baby is in the house today. She's working with me today. Come on, girl. We got the stability stage.
Well, this one is too slow.
Yeah, I'm live, baby. I'm teaching. I'm on YouTube live. And then we have the success stage. Okay?
It's almost done.
Yeah, you're going to have to turn it down a little bit so it won't echo on everybody else that hear it. She got my phone watching me on YouTube and watching me in person. I love how you think, boo. All right, so these are the 5 stages. She's good. These are the 5 stages of wealth. Papa baby is working today. So these are the 5 stages of wealth, okay? You got the survival stage. You got the strategy stage, you got the saving stage, you got the stability stage, and then you got the success stage. So I want you to write these 5 down, because wherever you are in your personal life, wherever you are in your financial life, and wherever you are in your business life, okay, as a professional, wherever you are, these 5 stages have to get grooved into your spirit and into your mind so that you could see the replication of them operate in your life, if that makes sense to you. Okay, let me say it again. In your personal life, in your professional life, whether it's a business or career, and in your financial life, when it comes to you getting that bag and getting financially free, these 5 stages of wealth have to get grooved into your spirit. They got to get deep down into your spirit, into your mind, until you're able to replicate them in your life. So let me show you how this works. People who are successful in terms of wealth, people who are successful, most likely they have grooved each of these stages in, and because they've grooved them in, they always have this switch for survival mode even at their success. Do you see what I'm saying? Because see, a lot of times what happens is you could be in survival mode, and then you can start getting into stability mode, or maybe savings mode, or even success mode. And what happens is if you lose the ability to flip the switch to survival mode, when times like now happen, you can fall off altogether. Okay? So this is why a lot of people right now, even though there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of confusion, it looks like things are slowing down, we seem to be in a recession, interest rates are going up, pay raises are going down, or at least not moving at all. People are being fired, they're losing jobs. All this stuff is happening. Businesses are not growing the way they used to grow. Some businesses are going out of business. All this stuff is happening at the same time, right? And what happens is, if you ain't got this first stage locked in your spirit, in your mind, to the point that you can flip that switch at any time, even if you experience some level of success or stability, you typically fall back to where you were before you even started the whole process. So when it comes to these 5 stages of wealth, they have to become a part of your life. They have to become a part of everything that you do. I was telling my mentees last night during our coaching call, because I talked about this in depth, which, by the way, what I share with y'all on this show is really like snippets of what I give to my clients who pay thousands of dollars for me to consult them, for me to coach them. And I have a lot of students who are being educated by me. They train on my university platform. They are part of my Millionaire Blueprint program. So this information is like next level information. It's helping a lot of people become financially free. It's helping a lot of people develop the mindset and the skill set to become millionaires. So this ain't no fly by night, oh, you just Googled some stuff, copied and pasted some stuff type information. This is what I live every day, and what I've had to figure out after 20 years of being an entrepreneur. So where I am right now, I'm not wealthy, but I do have a level of success. Because for me, financial wealth is, for me, I need to have a couple $100 million to feel like I'm wealthy. I mean, I personally, that might not be everybody's mathematical estimation, but for me to say that I'm wealthy, I got to at least have 100 million. I mean, at least 100 million. But if I just got maybe a couple $1 million or 10 or $20 million, I might be a little rich at that point, or a multi-millionaire. But I gotta, in order for me to be wealthy, I need to have at least 100 mil. I'm just saying that because I want you to understand, even though I might not be successful in terms of that level of wealth, but I do have a level of success, because where I am right now financially and professionally and personally, I know a whole lot of people who've been in business longer than me, less than me, or the same time as me. They ain't where I'm at. So it's something that I'm telling people that I know, and I'm actually seeing the results in my own life. I mean, that's the proof of the pudding, right? If you giving somebody some information and you can't show the proof in your own life, what's the use of that information? So let me get back to my 5 stages, okay? The first stage is the survival stage. I was telling my mentees this last night during my coaching call that for me, because I started as an entrepreneur 20 years ago, I didn't have a job, And me and my wife, when we got married and we decided that we were going to spend the rest of our lives together and we were going to build an empire together, she understood the assignment. She understood that, okay, he's an entrepreneur. He wants to do it on his terms. He wants to do it his way. And my wife was willing to pay the price, because that was a big price she had to pay. She had to pay the price of sacrificing stability. She had to pay the price of sacrificing savings. And to some extent, she had to sacrifice the possibility of a certain level of success to give me a shot at becoming a successful entrepreneur. Because what that meant was all the money that was coming in had to be put back into a business idea, or it had to be put back into helping me grow whatever it was that I was trying to grow as an entrepreneur. Okay? But what it did for me was it locked in this first stage of wealth, which is the survival stage. Because every morning that I woke up, or whatever the time was that I woke up, every day I woke up, and we're talking about just the last 20 years, I had this instinct of survival, because I knew I have to get out here. I have to make money, because I got to pay a light bill. I got to pay a phone bill. I need gas. I got kids I got to take care of. I got rent. So I was always in survival mode. I didn't want to have to be in survival mode, but I didn't have no choice, because I didn't have a job. I didn't have money saved. I didn't have the right connections. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a network of people. I didn't have nobody opening doors for me and co-signing what I was doing. I had to wake up every day and I had to bang. I had to grind. I had to figure out, how can I at least make $50 today? How can I at least make $100 today? And so the first stage of wealth is survival. And how do you know if you're at that stage in your business or in your personal life? Here's how you know. We're going to make it easy. If you cannot afford to pay your basic necessities, okay, with the income you got coming in, that means you are categorically in the survival stage of wealth, because all you're doing is just trying to make it every day. Okay? That's all you're trying to do, is make it. And it's okay to be there, because we all have to go through these stages. But it's not okay to stay there. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not okay to stay there, especially if your survival is dependent upon you doing business. Okay? Because you got entrepreneurs who have jobs, who are trying to do business on the side, and then you got entrepreneurs who don't have a job and they're doing business full time. Either way, you have to figure out, how can you take your business out of the survival stage. Now, you're not going to lose the ability to flip that switch when you feel you're in a survival mode, but you have to bring your business out of survival stage. This is why learning to sell, learning to market, learning to provide offers, and learning how to get attention and promote yourself and have products and services that you can present to the marketplace is critical, because this is the stage of your business and your financial life that you on high alert. Okay, it's code red. So that means if your business or your personal life cannot afford the quality of your life, that means you can't pay your bills. Your business can't pay you a salary. Your business can't afford to hire nobody. You ain't got enough money coming in your business to pay the basic expenses. You are in survival mode. This is code red. It's code red. And I'm saying that because you gotta start becoming more aware of where you are in these stages, so that it fuels what you do. Because it ain't no way in this world you and your business is in survival mode and you chilling watching TV. Ain't no way your business and your finances in survival mode and you scrolling social media all day. Ain't no doggone way you in survival mode and you got time to talk and loaf and chill and act like life is good and Goshen. No, boo. No, dog. It don't work like that. When you in survival mode, you pulling your hair out every day trying to figure out, what do I need to do to get that doggone bag? What do I need to do to make it happen today? And guess what? This is where the strategy stage plays a very important role. Most people never really work on strategy because they don't have a heightened awareness of survival. See, I remember when I was in survival mode and I needed money every day I woke up. I needed to at least make $50 or $100. I was trying to do whatever. We're talking about 20 years ago, right? But because I put myself in that mode of survival, I was willing to get up every day and go out into the marketplace and hunt to kill something to take care of my family. Now, when I was in survival mode, even before I had a strategy, I just used whatever I had. So you always hear me talk about how me and my wife started. We met at a time when both of us was going to school for real estate. We were both working on getting our real estate licenses in 2 different states. When we decided to get together and plan for our wedding, we made the decision that she was going to get her real estate license. I was not, but I was good at fixing homes. I was the handyman. I was the master at that. My daddy taught me a lot about carpentry. He was a master's carpenter. He was a brick mason. He could do anything: plumbing, electricity, floors, drywall. Him and his brothers built houses from the ground up. So I was able to inherit a lot of those skills. So my wife and I, we decided, okay, she's got a real estate license. I have the ability to fix up stuff in houses, and we're going to use that, and we're going to try to make as much money as we can. So I really didn't have any other strategy at the time, but I can clean your house. I could fix your toilet. I could change your light fixtures. I could change your hardware. I could do your drywall. I could paint. I could pull up your carpet. I put tile down. Whatever I put a new tub in. Like, I was the Mr. Fix-It guy. But guess what? This was survival mode. Because when you're in survival mode, you do whatever you gotta do. So here, even though I was not working a regular 9-to-5 job where I was clocking in as a W-2 employee, because I didn't have a job, I had to be willing to do other things that some people might have not wanted to do. So that means I had to be willing to clean up. I had to be willing to fix toilets. I had to be willing to go to somebody's house because they got a leak and fix the leak. I had to be willing to change somebody's sink out. I had to be willing to paint somebody's room. I had to be willing to clean somebody's floor, to pull up somebody's carpet and put linoleum down. I had to be willing to fix somebody's drywall because they got holes in the wall. I had to be willing to put a new light fixture up. So I was in survival mode. So it wasn't like I was making a whole lot of money. And then when my wife started getting clients and we started being able to get commissions, okay, my wife may have a client who wants to sell a house, right? And then we go in there and we say, well, if you're going to sell this house, here's what you need to do. You need to paint the house. You need to paint the cabinets. You need to put a new countertop in the kitchen. You need to do this, that, there, and the other. And we would assess everything that needs to be done. And it might be a $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 house 20 years ago. And so we could get a $3,000 commission, and then we could do all the work for maybe $3,000 or $4,000. And that's how we survived. So if you're in survival mode, categorically, that means you ain't got enough money coming in right now to cover your basic necessities. If that's where you are and you call yourself an entrepreneur, If you call yourself a business owner, you got to drop that pride, you got to get rid of that ego, and you got to stop thinking people owe you something or you deserve something. No, nobody don't owe you nothing. You don't deserve anything other than what you're willing to get out here in survival mode, kill and eat to bring home. That's what you deserve. And so what that means is, if you're not willing to get out there in survival mode as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, as a small business owner, and embarrass yourself and make yourself look like a fool and get rejected every day and be told no and no and no over and over again. If you're not willing to go through that, go get a job. Go get a job. But don't be putting your family through that, because I put my wife through a lot. Okay, I put her through a lot. I put my family through a lot. My family had to, and when I say my family, I'm talking about my kids, they had to, they might have didn't know it at the time, 20 years ago, but they had to sacrifice a lot of luxuries because I was trying to build something. And I was doing it not from a place of having a job and having stability and having savings and having good credit and having connections. I was doing it from a place where I was rolling up my sleeves. I ain't got no credit. I ain't got no money. I don't know nobody. I just moved to Atlanta. I just got to get out here and knock on doors and call people. Hey, do you know somebody who need their house painted? Do you know somebody who need some work done on their house? Do you know somebody who need their yard cut? I didn't care. I would watch your dog if you gonna pay me. But I had to drop my pride. I couldn't have an ego. I couldn't be arrogant about it. I was willing to get out here because I just needed to survive. Okay? And that's what you have to do if you're in survival mode. Now, what happens is, when you're willing to do that in survival mode, I personally think, at least that's what happened to me. When I was out there surviving, I was just doing what I knew I was good at doing. I knew I could paint. I knew I could do electric work, plumbing work. I knew I could do roofs and ceilings, and I knew my way around the house. I was good enough to know I could get out there and make some money. That's all I did. I didn't have this amazing strategy, okay? I didn't have all these grand ideas of how I can create products and services. I didn't have that, and I didn't have the internet, okay? So it took time for me to start developing strategies, okay? But that's the second stage of wealth. I think most people who don't pass the survival test at this stage, I think most of them never make it to strategy. Because when I say strategy, strategy is really about you educating yourself, getting knowledge, and learning how to put that knowledge to work to get the best results. I think that's what strategy is when it comes to business. And so a lot of people never really get strategy as entrepreneurs or financial strategies to come out of debt and to be financially free, because they never scrap it out in survival mode. They weak-minded. They give up. They don't have the gas to get through it. They're not willing to be embarrassed and humiliated. I didn't care about that. I was more concerned about my wife knowing that I had the money to pay the light bill, or I had the money to pay the rent, or I helped her with the car payment, or whatever it was. I was more concerned about making sure that my kids didn't have to go without whatever they needed at a certain time. That's what I was concerned about. And so that meant I was able to go out there, I would clean, I would do anything. So as long as it was moral and legal, I was willing to do it. But again, I already had that survival mode in me. Where I come from, how I was raised, I had survival mode in me. And then strategy. Strategy is the stage where you start educating yourself. This is about education here. This is about EDU. This is about info. This is about getting the right financial education and the right financial training. I used to tell my wife this all the time. Back in the early 2000s when we first started our business and our ministry, and we didn't have money, I used to tell her, I said, well, listen, I ain't got a job, so I'm not working a 9-to-5. I'm only picking up gigs as they come because I'm a solopreneur, I'm self-employed, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm willing to pay the price. And my wife was willing to let me pay the price and suffer through that phase, that stage with me, right? And so the days that I didn't have anything to do, in terms of going out there making money, guess what I did? I read, I studied, I educated myself. And so I would discipline myself. And I would say to myself, if I'm going to stay home today because I ain't got nowhere to go and make money, I need to at least spend 8 hours educating myself. Like, for real. If you don't have business to do, use those. You should discipline yourself to say, you know what? Either way, I'm giving somebody 40 hours a week. This is strategy. You get what I'm saying? So if I didn't have a job to go to when I was just starting as an entrepreneur, my wife will attest to this. My wife would tell you how true this is. I would spend way more than 40 hours a week because I would be all day reading books, studying, researching. And remember, 20 years ago was 2002. That was 2002. So I didn't have the internet. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have Google or YouTube. We didn't have none of this. So I had to go to Goodwill and buy books, or the bookstore and find books that I could read about business and finances. But again, I would invest the same amount of time that I should be investing on a job or in my business. I would invest and educate myself. This is the strategy stage. Now, some of the strategies that you need to use, I have a lot of strategies in my Millionaire Blueprint. I have financial strategies to show you how to save $1,000 or your first $1,000, because that's always a big milestone. I have strategies to show you how to pay off your consumer debt. I have strategies about you saving at some point at least 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses, and that monthly expense timeline really goes up depending on how insecure or unstable your business is. So what I mean by that is, if you work a W-2 job, then you might be able to save 3 months of reserves, maybe 6 months. But if you ain't got a W-2 job and you ain't got no financial stability long term, and you running a business, your goal should be to try to save 6 months to a year of your monthly expenses, so that if anything happens, if you lose customers, or if there's a recession, or if there's a quarantine, you can at least ride a 3 to 6 month wave knowing that you can recover, okay? But all of these financial strategies and business strategies, I have that information in my Millionaire Blueprint. Now, the next stage is saving. Most people never make it to saving because they don't survive the storms. Like right now, a lot of people are giving up on their business. I heard my wife on the phone with somebody the other week. So my wife is at a closing right now. I think she got a closing every day this week. So my wife on multiple occasions, just within the last couple months, she's had 2-3 closings back to back. We're talking about millions of dollars of deals that she has just back to back on a day-to-day basis. Like this week, I think she got a closing every day this week. But she was on the phone with a real estate agent who's been in real estate just as long as her, I think, maybe 10, 15 years, this other agent, at least 15 years, maybe as long as her. But I heard the agent telling her, she had on speakerphone, I heard the agent telling her that she was going inactive, that she was not going to be practicing real estate, that she's lost the passion for it, and that she doesn't have any business. And my wife was asking a question, so how have you had any closings this year? And she's like, no, I haven't had any. And me and my wife was like, well, this is why. Because when you're in this stage and you don't have any strategy, most likely when you was making money, you wasn't saving it because you didn't discipline yourself to live on less than what you make. And or when you were in survival stage, like you still are, you didn't push it hard enough to make something happen. And that may mean you having to pivot into something else temporarily. So what me and my wife, a lot of the things me and my wife do right now in business is because we have a certain level of success. And I say that with gratefulness. But me and my wife, there are certain things we can do in business And there are things that we're starting to move a little bit more towards investments outside of our business, but we can do that because we have a certain level of stability and success. But we wasn't trying to do that when we were surviving, when we was trying to figure out the best strategies that worked, that got us the best results, and when we were just trying to put money up to save so that we wouldn't be under pressure and stressed. We wanted peace, because saving is really, I'm going to put this word here, saving is about peace, because that's what you're doing. You really putting money up for a peace of mind. It's kind of like having insurance. So we got all kind of insurance. You got health insurance, you got life insurance, you got dental insurance, you got vision insurance. You can get insurance on yourself as a business owner. You can get insurance, life insurance. You get all these types of insurances, right? You get rental insurance. You get mortgage insurance. They got insurance for everything. But why do people have insurance? Insurance is a peace of mind. You're not really paying to use it, because most likely you don't even really use the insurance, but you're paying for peace. And so when you're saving money, when you figure out the best way to live on less than what you make. Now, if you say, well, Ramon, I can't live on less than what I make. Well, you need to go back to survival and strategy stage. Because if you're not making enough money to live on less than what you make, and you're not able to save, it's because you didn't work strategy out enough, and you didn't have that survival mode enough to learn how to sell, how to market, how to generate more money. That's where you learn this stuff at, in survival and strategy. You ain't finna learn this down here. So a lot of people want stability. You ain't finna get stability if you ain't got no survival and strategy. It's just no way you're gonna get there. So saving is about peace. So if you're a person who has a business, or you have financial income coming in that you can live on less than what you make, I teach about, in my Millionaire Blueprint, the 40% rule. I teach about the 40, and it's not something I came up with. It's something that one of my mentors talk about a lot, and I've read it in 2 or 3 other books of wealthy people that have talked about the 40% rule. This is what you want to do. So if you're saving money and all you saving is like 5 to 10% of your income, you need to figure out how you can start saving 40% of your income. That's going to be your wealth accelerator. I promise you, me and my wife, we did that. We haven't been as like on top of it. We just had the conversation last week about resetting our savings strategy, getting back to the 40% rule and sticking to it on a week-to-week basis. But for about a 2-year window, all my wife and I did for about 2 years straight was save 40%. For about 2 years straight. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. Like, your whole life will change if you figure out how to make enough money so that you could save 40% of your income, right? And still pay your bills and live. Now, the quality of your life might not change. So that's why when people look at me and my wife, we've been wearing some of the same clothes. We drive one car. We only got one car. We was living, up until just recently, we was living in a 1-bedroom condo for the last 5 years. And nothing in our lifestyle changed. We didn't change anything. We could have, but we didn't, because we started getting addicted to, oh my God, that 40% rule was like crazy. Imagine making a certain amount of money and being able to take 40% of the money you make on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis and set it aside and not touch it. Imagine doing that for the course of a year or two. We did it for at least 2 years straight. And then we started falling off because I started putting more money back into my business. And then that kind of compromised that 40% rule. But we were so disciplined at doing it, we would make it up at another, she would have a big closing, and she'll take half of that and put it over here, because it's like she'll balance it out in 3 months or whatever. But we're getting back on track to, let's do it not every 3 months, but let's do it every week or two so we can stay on top of it. And then you have the final 2 stages of wealth. You got the stability stage. This should be where your business is at a place to where You could be compensated for your business. At the very least, if you ain't taking money from your business, you're able to hire people, okay? Because I'm not big on taking salaries from my business if I have other sources of income. Okay, if you ain't got no other sources of income, you need your business to pay you. But if you do have other sources of income, it would be to your advantage to repurpose, redistribute, recycle that money into your business, because you want to get your business big. And this is where a lot of your creative tax strategies are going to play a very important role when you start recycling that money. Because if your business is bringing in money, at some point you're going to have to give an account of that money and pay taxes on that money, or justify why you're not paying taxes because you have write-offs, business deductions, and a lot of expenses, okay? So that's the stability stage, and then you have success. Most people never get to these two. Most people never get to these two because it's almost impossible to get to them two if you ain't working the first three. So again, all this information that I'm sharing with you, I provide in my mentorship program. Maybe you're browsing the internet and you're looking for a coach, a business coach. I ain't talking about there are a lot of different coaches. I'm a business consultant, a business coach. I help people primarily properly start, properly structure, so that at some point they can properly scale their business. That's what I specialize in. Showing people how to start and structure holding companies, showing people how to implement creative tax strategies, showing people how to integrate the right systems and processes for their sales and marketing and operations and financials. That's where I specialize in. That's my sweet sauce. So if you're looking for that type of coach, consultant, and mentor, or maybe you're just looking for that kind of information, I have a mentorship program and I have an online training program with all of this information that I'm talking about in video forms. I have walkthrough tutorials, I have video training modules, hundreds of lessons in my program called the Millionaire Blueprint. It is a millionaire blueprint. Like if you've been looking for like a blueprint on how to become a millionaire, how to build a financial infrastructure so that you can go from wherever you are to 7 figures, I have a program available for you. And maybe you want to be mentored by me so that my team and I can work with you. We have that 1-year mentorship program. But with that being said, before I go, I want to remind you, or maybe inform you if this is your first time hearing it, this Saturday, December the 3rd, I'm hosting a free 2-hour web class on holding companies and creative tax strategies. It's going to be a free web class for 2 hours. All you have to do is RSVP. And if you're interested in being a part of that free web class and joining me for 2 hours, I'm going to be doing a deep dive on holding companies and creative tax strategies. I'm literally going to take 2 hours to show you how to properly start and structure a holding company, how you file and form the paperwork. If you already have existing LLCs, how do you take your existing LLCs and restructure them in a way so that you can leverage the holding company concept. I'm going to be talking to you about creative tax strategies, ways that you can minimize your tax liability and maximize your profitability. So if you're interested, you can RSVP for free. All you have to do is go to Ramonepreston.com/event. That's all you have to do. Go to Ramonepreston.com/event. And when you go there, you can RSVP for free. I would love for you to be my guest, to join me this Saturday, December the 3rd, 12 o'clock noon Eastern to 2 o'clock p.m., 2 hours web class with your boy, teaching you how to properly start and structure holding companies, teaching you how to implement creative tax strategies so that you can lower your tax liability, maximize your profitability, build a legacy company for you and for your family. Just go to Ramonepreston.com/event. I appreciate you for joining the show today. I would love for you to put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. Like, what was the aha moment that you had? Like, what did you hear today that was like, that's it right there, bruh. That's the game right there, dog. I would love to know what that is. Put it in the comments. Let your boy know. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on all platforms at Ramonepreston. Love you. Appreciate you. You know we'll be back here tomorrow. Same place, same time. Right here, 12 o'clock noon Eastern on the Ramonepreston Show.